Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Self-love through freedom and connection. So feel free to connect to The Brave Never Fall on these social media platforms. If you find anything of value in this following podcast, hit that like button, subscribe and share, and support the brave and bold tribe growing one purposeful soul at a time. There are no coincidences in life. The strength you have is real. Each breath you take is a blessing. Don't give up, give more. Believe in yourself and trust yourself. How are you feeling? Take a moment to do a self-check-in for yourself. How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling spiritually? Are you feeling balanced? Are you still journeying on an intentional, purposeful path? How are you feeling? Balancing yourself is a healthy daily practice that will reliably keep you in harmony with your entire mind, body, heart, and soul. Clear your mind. Take a moment of silence for yourself right now in the moment. You are here now. How are you feeling? No one lives forever, so each day we must live within strength, purpose, and empowerment. Only you know how strong you actually are. Only you know how weak you actually are, and everything in between. We can rely on other people to point these things out for us, especially when they come at times where we feel the weakest. People want to tell you how strong you are. And a lot of times when you're at your strongest, people want to tell you you can be stronger. You're actually really weak. Do those words actually have any real meaning to you if you know who you are? If you're living in your own strength and you're accepting wherever you're at on that spectrum, That's you. It's you, and it's you taking ownership and accountability of wherever you are. Are you taking steps forward towards strength, or are you taking steps back towards weakness? Only you know that. Only you can move forward confidently, knowing what's your true agenda towards those steps, towards strength, towards power, empowerment. Only you know how to do those things for yourself. Everyone has a different path. What tools work for some people, those tools aren't going to work for you. It's the individuality of each of us that creates a unique blueprint for each of us, so we can get through the day, so we can get through the trials and the errors that we make every single day that equals to failure. But the great thing about failure is always success. Because if you can take that failure and you learn from it, you gain that strength, you're not taking steps back towards weakness. Now you're moving forward. You're moving forward towards success. And that's empowerment. The face that launched 1,000 ships. Helen of Troy. In the Greek mythology, she was the most beautiful woman in the world. That beauty came at a very great cost. Her love for Paris, a prince of Troy, would not be allowed by the Greeks, for Helen was the wife of the king of Greece, King Menelaus. Paris and his older brother Hector, the heir to the Trojan throne and one of the greatest warriors in the world, knew that the war between the Trojans and the Greeks was inevitable, for Helen and Paris vowed to never be apart. Hector had no choice but to sail back to Troy with the bride of the king of Greece. War is exactly what happened. Greece and all of the nations and civilizations it had assimilated under King Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, was determined to be the king to finally break through Troy's impregnable walls and destroy the city and its ruler, King Priam, father of Hector and Paris. To achieve this feat, Agamemnon would need the world's greatest warrior, Achilles, the hero of the Greeks. Achilles, known to never have lost a fight or a battle, would do what he is known for: fight, for his honor, glory, and for the world to remember his name in history long after he was dead. That passion, drive, discipline, determination, relentlessness, bravery, boldness, fearless soul Achilles possessed was more than enough for him to face the Trojan warriors and defeat them easily. His only true challenge coming from the heroic warrior Hector, who after his toughest fight, Achilles managed to defeat in battle. The Trojans would eventually fall after the Greeks cleverly got within the city walls with the wooden horse, and Achilles surprisingly was killed after taking an arrow to the ankle, his first true injury, and soon after fell, his name forever in history. Even the strongest person in the world has a weakness. It's not how you die, but how you live. That will define you and how you will be remembered. Valor under Moonbows, Episode 6, Accepting Your Achilles Heel. We don't have to go through life feeling like everything that we do has to be measured on a scale of the greatness presented by other people. Just because someone close to you that you know is killing it at the gym every single day doesn't mean you need to go in there and equally do the same. Why? Because it's very simple. Although every human being, we share DNA that's very close to each other, you still have your own unique DNA. you are still you. Your body is only going to be able to take so much, while this other person is going to struggle with their own issues. So if you're doing however many reps in the gym, I'm just using this as an example. If you're maxing out at 8 reps and this person over here is maxing out at 15, that doesn't make you weak. That makes you you. You have to look at how many reps did you start off doing when you began your workout journey. And where are you looking to go? Are you just looking at that and saying, I just want to get to 15 or I want to get to 20? It's all you. You don't have to work out at all. That's your prerogative. We are told so many times throughout the day, especially if you're on social media, the influence is huge. That's the reason why you have people who are on Instagram and they're called influencers. They're trying to influence you to look at not only them, but whatever they're doing in a certain way. This person dresses like this, you don't dress like this, so that makes you not on their level. Who says that you want to be? No one. That's why they're trying to influence you. They're not trying to convince you. They're not trying to tell you what you think of them is right or wrong. They're telling you, hey, I'm here. Look at me. What do you think about it? Tell everybody what you think about it. So we look at it and we either like the post, we feel a certain way, we move on. But that moment is stuck in your head. You saw something that day that measured up quite differently than what your life is like. What we don't see is what's happening behind those posts. What's happening to that person in the gym who's killing it every day? When they go home, oh boy, we find a flaw. Killing it at the gym, maybe not so much at home. Bad father, bad mother. Horrible son, horrible daughter. Not very bright, making bad decisions. Broke. There could be a whole bunch of things. But what do we see? We see the person in the gym killing it. We see the person on Instagram killing it. Who's to say these people are doing anything remotely on that level through every aspect of every single thing in their life? Home life, work life, spiritual life, relationships, financially. How are these people really stacking up in all areas? We look at one area of a person and we measure that as strength. We see a person who is quote unquote killing it. They are killing it at that one thing that just so happens to line up right what we're feeling like we need the most. You go through Instagram, the shit that you don't want doesn't even resonate. You fly past it. The stuff that sticks out to you, your influence to stop, your influence to look and engage with your eyeballs. You look at their numbers and you start determining, wow, this person may not be better than me, but they have shit that I want. Really? Is there anything wrong with that? No. If that was the case, coaches would not be needed in life. Because we do the same thing. We're trying to get you to see something about yourself, though, not what we have. As a coach, that's one of the best things I like about it. All this shit that I do has nothing to do with me. These words that are entering your ears, into your head, and maybe, hopefully, getting down in your heart and your body and your soul, it is about you. My strength has nothing to do with you. My money, my job, my relationships have nothing to do with you. It's none of my business to even care whether or not you think anything about me. I could care less. If you listen to this, it doesn't matter to me what you think of me. This is not about me. It's about you. We get triggered. We enter relationships where we are triggered and influenced, persuaded, dictated to, talked down to, and we enter relationships that are on the other end. Unfortunately, a lot of people would say that the relationships where you're not talked down to and intimidated and influenced and coerced and made to feel like a piece of shit, The relationships that are good, they're harder to find. The jobs that are good, they're harder to find. The churches that are great, they're harder to find. Anything that's harder to find in life, those are the things we naturally want, but we don't understand the price that we have to pay to get there. Now, I feel like that price to pay isn't anything. The price to pay on the road to glory and peace and purpose and fulfillment and happiness, you can't put a number on that. You can't put a limitation on that. You can't put a ceiling. The bar can never be raised high enough for you to get to that level and then see what's beyond that. Because even good things fall. Good things can fall. Good things can break apart. Great relationships can shatter. Job opportunities can go up in flames. We go through this stuff every single day. But the good thing about life is that we can always turn it around in our heads, which hopefully will filter down to our hearts and our body and our soul, and we can completely balance out. So we're not the Instagram person who's standing there smiling because they have the best wardrobe. We're not standing here in stasis looking at other people in the gym pumping iron and doing cardio and toning up and they're eating right, and we're saying, I want to be like this person. No, you want to be like that aspect of that person. And it's really not about that person. It's the discipline behind what they're doing. They're fully committed to something in an area that you want to get to. But we're not looking at what's wrong with these people. We're only looking at what's right. There's much more to learn from these people if you actually stop to have a conversation about the exact opposite of what they're showing you. Ask the person in the gym how their home life and their business and their finances are going. Are you killing it in all those areas as much as you're killing it at the gym? Ask that influencer what she's doing. How's your home life like? What do you look like when you're not posing and taking pictures and gaining followers? You're going to learn much more about what they're not showing you than what they're showing you. Those are moments in time. Those are things that they do well, that they enjoy to do. Everybody does relatively well with things that they enjoy to do. You do things better when you enjoy to do it, which is why as a fitness coach, I tell people, we're not going to do the workout routine that I force down your throat. We're going to do the workout routine that you want to do. You should be enjoying everything that you do in life. If you enjoy doing something and you want to get better at it and it becomes a part of who you are, there's no greater definition of peace within your purpose and true fulfillment than that. Not everyone is strong. Not everyone is weak. If you went out on the street and looked at everybody who was out there, just around you in a general area, and you pointed at every single person and asked them if they thought that they were strong or weak, and you had to jot down beforehand what you thought they would be. You look at one person, you think this person's weak. You look at the other person, you think that they're strong. And then you find out that it's almost opposite with every single one of those people. The most unassuming person is the strongest of the bunch. The hulking person who looks like they can take down the world is actually the weakest. Not everyone is strong. Not everyone is trying to be strong. Some people are trying to get there. Some people are running from weakness in a good way. There's nothing wrong with running away from things. That's another thing that I think in life we have to stop worrying so much about. Is other people's opinions about what it looks like when we're doing things. When we're after a certain goal. To one person, it may look like you're running from something. But in reality, from your point of view, you're running towards something. We don't have time in life to worry about what other people are perceiving our motives and our motivations to be. And motivation, by the way, is not enough in life. We have to have more than motivation. We need discipline. Motivation only occurs when you're inspired. You get inspired, you get motivated to do something. Again, those influencers, I should say. You see somebody repping it out, you want to do that. Now you're motivated and inspired. You see the IG model, the influencer, they inspire you, you get motivated. Problem is that motivation tends to run short once you start experiencing resistance, failure. When you start getting in your own mind and you start sprinkling in limited beliefs about what you can actually accomplish. When you start comparing yourself to other people. When you start caring too much about what other people think about you and your journey. Now all of a sudden, that motivation has dissipated. It is gone. What's the next step? Let's go back to scrolling. Let's go back to observing other people. Oh, another bout of inspiration. I'm motivated again. Let's give this another shot. Didn't work out the way I wanted. Let me step back again. That is not discipline. That motivation has to be turned into discipline. And how do you do that? Through strength. You have to be strong and take action in that motivation to turn it into discipline. I say it all the time. Everybody's disciplined about something. People are more disciplined in their lives than they ever believe that they are. They're just not disciplined in the areas where they know they need to be the strongest at. Most of the people in the world are disciplined about bathing. If you have access to water, because a lot of people who take that for granted out in this world, we are not, it's not a right to have water. It's a privilege. We're disciplined about doing the best that we can about putting food in our bellies. We're disciplined about being entertained. We're disciplined about going to the grocery store and Walmart and Target and picking out all this stuff. We're disciplined about relationships. We want to make sure that they last and they're sustainable. We can discipline the shit out of all this stuff. But we can't seem to discipline the shit out of the stuff that we really need to fulfill ourselves with. Not all the material stuff, not all the relationships and the places that we want to visit and all the things that we find to be so much higher value than our own lives. I'm talking generally here. Not everyone's like this, obviously. But motivation won't get you so far. We're disciplined in so many areas. That discipline has to be fun. Just like your workout, just like the influencers, they're doing it because it's fun. The guy is repping it out. Getting shredded because he's enjoying it. It's discipline. He can't vision his life without it. The influencer, that is what she does. She cannot envision her life not doing that. It is fun to her. It's not work. But we look at it and say, okay, how do I do that? Well, the news flash is that you'll never do it the way that they're doing it because they're not you. You can model it, but their blueprint will always be different than yours. I chose to look at this episode as a companion piece to the very first episode in Valor on the Moonbows, which is the Trojan Horse. And I'll put a link in the description below so you can check out that video. If you have not seen it, I would suggest you go watch that one first or listen to it. That podcast, episode 1 of Valor on the Moonbows, because I talk about certain things in there that I'm not going to rehash here because of time restraints. But I will pick up where I kind of jumped into in that episode, and I was talking about Achilles and the heroes of the Trojan War. We all know about the Trojan Horse, but we don't know about the players. How did this start? And how does this tie in what I was talking about with the influencers and how strong or weak you are? And it's very simple. It's dynamics. You have someone like Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships to war. The war between Troy and Greece. It started over a single mishap of lack of judgment between two people who fell in love. You have the wife of Menelaus, and she falls in love with the prince of Troy, one of the princes of Troy. They don't want to separate. Hector, the warrior, the future king of Troy, says, okay, let's just get back to Troy. We figure this out. They get back there, and of course, inevitably, here comes the Greeks. Menelaus is upset. He asks his brother Agamemnon, hey, we got to go conquer them. So, under two different reasons, Agamemnon wants to conquer them for glory. Menelaus wants his woman back because he looks like an idiot because this young prince came and stole his woman. And you have these two great civilizations fighting over something as single as two people meeting up in a dark corner and making out. That's essentially what happened. This war got started because two people couldn't keep their lips and their hands off of each other. And thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people died over this one act. You want to talk about the butterfly effect. That is the ultimate version of it. Because we're still talking about this war to this day. But it's about the key players. You have two warriors on each side. Troy has Hector. The Greeks have Achilles. Now, Achilles is not like Hector. Hector is about as noble as you can get when it comes to, I am a Trojan. I want to protect these walls of Troy. I want to protect the beach. I want to protect my father. I want to protect my wife and my child. I want to protect all the people of Troy. I am fighting for all of this. Where Achilles is fighting for himself and his small clan of myrmidons that he has with him. These are his personal warriors, his lions, as he calls them. These people that fight along with Achilles, these are just true warriors. They fight for themselves. They're super disciplined. They're focused on one thing: battle. We are to face you, and we will take you out as quickly as possible. It's not about who we're protecting. It's not about anything other than we want to be the best warriors ever, and we want to be remembered because of it. And eventually Achilles and Hector get into a great battle. One of them has to fall. It's like two undefeated fighters in boxing or MMA that are meeting each other. The two legends that are meeting each other. Neither one of them have lost. One of them have to go down. One of their O's must go. One of their zeros and their whatever their records are has to turn into a 1. Somebody's going to die. But unfortunately, Hector goes down. The one man that could beat Achilles goes down. The Trojans are freaking out. Get the Trojan Horse in there. They start sacking the city, taking it down. And Achilles runs in. And in the film version, Paris shoots him in his ankle with an arrow. In mythology, it really doesn't matter who shot him. An arrow gets blasted straight through Achilles' heel. Hence, Achilles' heel. A weakness he didn't even know. It damaged him so much and it shocked him so much. He had never been hurt. He never lost a battle. He never lost a fight. An arrow through the ankle. He can't walk. He bends down. He's shot. He's never felt pain like this before. Before he can react, he's done. They kill him. Just like that. The greatest warrior ever, who wants all this glory, wants to be remembered as the strongest person ever, gets defeated with a fucking arrow through his ankle. The most weirdest set of events. He didn't die against all the Trojans he was defeating. He didn't die against the second greatest warrior in the world at the time, Hector. He died because some random person who's probably scared to death of him and was probably aiming a lot higher just happened to hit him in the ankle. And he falls and they jump him and he's gone. You want to talk about degrees of strong and weak? The strongest person in the world can have the greatest weakness. Strongest person in the world can have the greatest weakness. And that is why I gravitated towards this particular mythology for this episode. Because I think that's very fascinating, because these sorts of things happen in our lives all the time. How many times have you done something and you thought you were going to kill it, just to find out the most insignificant little detail derailed that momentum for you? You had it in the bag. You were right there. It was achievable. You had it in your fucking hands and you lost it because something that you couldn't see derailed that and turned that beautiful, quote unquote, inevitable success I'm about to acquire into ashes. Nothing. Just went up in flames. And now you're sitting there saying, wow, this is insane. I had it. I was doing it. This relationship was working. This job was working. Life was working for me. My funds were working for me. Everything was working out for me. And this one little detail, regardless if it was my fault or not, derailed me and it went up in flames. And what's left, I might as well flush it down the toilet. It doesn't matter how strong you are. We all have an Achilles heel. We all have something that's going to take us from feeling like we can conquer everything in our lives and we can improve upon it, and it's going to knock you on your ass. However, you're not listening to the brave fall down and we never get back up. You're listening to the brave never fall, which means when we get knocked down, we get up. Fall means stay down. We're not staying down. We're getting up. We have to find out what made us get to the point where we felt that strong about something we were truly passionate about. And we felt strong in that passion about whatever it is we were doing. Whatever, if it's the relationship, if it's the job, if it's the money, it's the cars, the house, the church, whatever it is. We felt so strong in this. We felt confident. We knew that it was going to succeed. That does not mean because you fell down that you can't get back up and find wherever it was you were at and just keep pushing. That is what it's all about. Had Achilles, when he got shot through his ankle, not freaked out and froze and maybe just pulled the air out and just got into safety, maybe things would have been different for him. But he let his pride and his ego, maybe should have worn more armor, who knows, right? He let something happen where he allowed his strength to be taken down by something as insignificant as an arrow to the ankle, which some may say, well, that's a really bad injury. It is. But this is the greatest warrior the world had ever seen at that time. He doesn't go down with an arrow to the ankle. He goes down against a battle against someone like Hector, not an arrow to the ankle. Just days before that, he's killing hundreds and hundreds of Trojans on the beach, one after another. An arrow to the ankle took him out. And we don't even remember the person who did it. In the movie, they dramatized it that it was Paris, but I mean, obviously it's all mythology, twisted and turned anyway. But the point is, it doesn't matter. It can be something big that derails you. It could be something small and insignificant that derails you. And we can prepare for both scenarios. I say all the time with the Brave Never Fall, the more forward thinking you are, the more prepared that you are, the more ready you are for things to go wrong, the better you will be in handling them. You will not freak out. You will not overanalyze. You will not overthink. You will not get overwhelmed. You will accept, understand, and be patient with the process of whatever it is that derailed you. Whatever it is that set your current path a little bit on fire and you had to go around it or put it out, whatever it is you have to do, kick dirt over it, that doesn't mean your path is gone. It just means you had a temporary hiccup. Life is going to continue to do this. The people who understand that are the people that are going to succeed. They will find that strength. They will find everything that it took for them to acquire that strength, and they will do whatever it takes to maintain that strength. Again, we go back to, this is not motivation to gain this strength. This is discipline. To find that type of strength, that cannot be motivation. That cannot be inspiration. That has to be discipline. There is nothing wrong with inspiration and motivation. In fact, when I began the Brave Never Fall, I looked at it as those first few 50 episodes, that is the inspiration. The next 50 episodes of the podcast was motivation. And now we're moving into discipline. When we get to phase 3, we'll move into another form of that, another bar, always ascending. Augment and ascending to greatness, to the best version of yourself. Because even discipline can be taken to another level. There's always another level. And right now we're talking about discipline. Yes, you have been inspired, and of course you have been motivated. What the hell are you going to do about it? Those two are not enough. Passion is not enough. Passion, in my opinion, is inspiration and motivation combined. Passion does not gain you discipline. Through discipline, you gain what you need. You need the passion to have the discipline. But that doesn't mean you can be disciplined just because you found the passion for it. People are passionate about things all the time. I'm sure Achilles was passionate about going in that city and taking down the king. It only got him so far. We have to acknowledge that through discipline, that is the point where if we know things are going to derail us and we know we're going to have to meet up against these things that are going to give us resistance, at some point we have to say, am I afraid of this? Is this a limited belief? Is this a fear that I have that is popping up? Are these derailments self-inflicted? Am I the one who is causing these insignificant little flare-ups in my goals and my dreams and the things that I want for my life? Am I the one taking a machete and slicing straight through my joy, my happiness, and everything that I feel I stand for as a person with my morals and the loyalty I have to my life? Because people talk about dishonesty and not being loyal, not being faithful to other people. Wow, we do that to ourselves all the time. We are unfaithful to ourselves all the time. We tell ourselves lies all the time. We get pissed off when other people do it, but we give ourselves a pass when we do it to ourselves. Listen to that. We get pissed off when other people lie to us when they are unfaithful and they're unloyal, but we don't hold our own damn selves to that same standard. And we wonder why we're fucking miserable. We wonder why we get in a rut. We wonder why we can't move forward. We wonder why we get in such of a deep hole that we can't dig out of it. We wonder why we can't sleep, why we're scared, why we're frightened. It's time to detach. It's time to step back and say, what is all that I just lied to myself about? What is all this that I am creating for myself that is not what I dreamed my life to be? The great thing about it is that change does not have time limits. You can change whenever you want. You can step back and look at it and instantly say, okay, in 1 second, I'm changing this. There's your new inspiration. Okay, what steps am I going to do to cultivate this change? There's your motivation. I'm going to do this, this, and this because I want this in my life. There's your passion. I'm starting tomorrow and I'm not going to quit. There's your discipline. It's as simple as that. Detach, acknowledge, start getting things in motion, repeat. And all of that is wrapped up in because you want to. It's your passion. It's what you do. It is you. It's what's defining you. It's not about what other people think about you. How do you define yourself? If other people define you as weak and you know you're strong, you're strong. No one in the world could have told Achilles, even in the moment where he was dying, that he was the weakest man in the world. Because he knew who he was. He knew what he had to do. And that's exactly how he wanted to go out. He would have much rather go out like that than to be killed in his sleep without a chance to fight back. You are the strongest person you know. You just don't realize it if you haven't figured it out already. And if you have, continue that. Live in that strength. Live in that discipline that you've cultivated for yourself. Don't be influenced by other people. Don't be shocked when you discover your Achilles heel. Keep moving forward. Because you are the strongest person you know. And yes, maybe you've been the weakest person that you know and that you knew. But right now, tell yourself you are the strongest person that you know. Pledge with me. And listen to these words carefully. We're going to do this almost affirmation style, because this is needed. I'm going to repeat this and repeat this and repeat this, and I want you to repeat this with me. I am the strongest person that I know. Although I was once weak, today, here and now, I am the strongest person that I know. I know tomorrow may bring me rain. I know tonight may bring me pain. I know someday I may go insane, but I will never live my life in vain, because I am the strongest person that I know. No one can take my strength away from me but me. No one can reduce me to weakness but myself. No one can push me to failure but myself. And no one can make me ascend to the level that I know I need to be but myself. I pledge today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow that I will remain in this strength. I will remind myself daily that I am the strongest person I know. I will live in peace. I will live in purpose. And I will live in discipline, because I am the strongest person I know. This is your day. You are here now. These are your moments. You own them. You are brave, bold, powerful. You do believe in yourself. You know you have more in the tank. You know the glass is half full. There's still more room for improvement. There is no end. Believe, believe, believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Trust that you can do whatever it takes to accomplish whatever you want from life. You don't procrastinate. You don't embellish. You don't lie. You are true to yourself always. Knowledge is in your mind. Peace is in your heart. Balance is in your body. Purpose is in your soul. You are greatness. The sky is not the limit. You have purpose, fulfilling, intentful purpose. You are here for a reason. You are unique. You are self-love, self-discipline, self-respect, self-control. You have self-awareness. You are joy, peace, and happiness. You are freedom, and you're connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall.